Welcome back, Gumball fans! So, if you've ever seen a single episode of The Amazing World of Gumball, you already know that this show doesn't run under normal cartoon logic. Actually, it barely follows any logic at all. It's part sitcom, part fever dream, part what even is this animation style and why is it working so well? But even in a show that thrives on being weird, some episodes are just way more bizarre than others. Today, we're diving deep into 4 episodes of The Amazing World of Gumball that will seriously weird you out. Starting with The Night, which, if I'm being honest, is one of, if not the weirdest episodes in the whole show. The episode aired in 2016, and it's not even really an episode in the traditional sense. There's no plot, no real dialogue, no lessons. It's just a dream. An endless collection of Elmore's strange subconscious at night. The episode begins with the moon telling us a nighttime story as the entire town settles down to sleep. But instead of any warning or explanations, we're taken straight inside each character's subconscious mind. First up, there's Gumball. And his dream, much like himself, is obviously full of chaos. He's falling from outer space. Yeah, you heard that right. He's spinning uncontrollably, crashing through clouds and buildings, all this painful motion. But right before he hits the ground, he wakes up. Well, aren't we all familiar with the feeling? Every time I find myself in the most peaceful sleep, there I am, casually falling from the 100th floor of the building. It ruins my whole sleep. Back to Gumball's dream. Though it might have been stressful, it's kinda normal. The episode doesn't get strange until we're taken into Banana Joe's dream. This guy, or let's say fruit, tries to straight up bite his own rear end. I know, weird, right? But he literally splits in two, with one half showing faces and the other showing butt cheeks. The two halves then start chasing each other in a loop until Joe snaps out of it. It gets peaceful for a while as Nicole has a surprisingly chill dream. She's just lounging on a peaceful beach, soaking up the sun without any care in the world. Honestly, if anyone's earned that kind of break, it's her. But even a sleeping Richard can't let it slide. Her relaxation is ruined when Richard's loud snoring wakes her up. And to top it off, he literally rolls over on her. Typical Richard moment. Speaking of Richard, his dream is completely different and feels downright creepy if you ask me. Richard is a doe, singing about being a delicious bun while being kneaded intensely. Darwin's dream is simple but kinda charming. The guy just wants a bigger bed, or in his case, a fishbowl to sleep in. But hands down, the weirdest moment in the entire episode hits when we enter Larry's dream. Now, if you've watched more than a handful of Gumball episodes, you know Larry is literally Elmore's punching bag. The poor guy works everywhere. The pizza shop, gas station, grocery store, photo booth, you name it. And don't even get me started on the bullying he's faced at the hands of the Watersons. Anyways, Larry first dreams of Richard dancing around and singing about being a bun. Just as Richard explodes in absurdity, Larry wakes up, only to find himself still behind the counter in an apocalyptic wasteland version of the store. He sees an older version of himself sternly telling him, "You have wasted your life." This scene just feels creepy. It triggers yet another awakening for Larry. Well, that wake-up is just the start. He now dreams he's naked. His mouth is then sealed shut as he tries to scream. He's finally woken up by a donut cop with ridiculous orders who snaps him back to reality and yells at him for slacking. What he does next is, well, let me just show you. I actually feel bad for the guy, but he's not getting out of there anytime soon. This nested series of nightmares perfectly mirrors Larry's life across the show. He's never off duty, like he can't escape being Elmore's unpaid, unburdened workhorse. The fact that Larry believes he doesn't get to sleep speaks volumes about how he's always been treated like a service robot. And the list goes on. Hector, Carrie, Terry, Anais, Juke, the Robinsons, Susie, and Alan all have their own weird, often hilarious or unsettling dreams. Susie's dream even breaks the fourth wall, revealing she's basically a motion capture character, which is wild for a cartoon episode. And honestly, The Night isn't really about your typical Gumball episode. It's all weird vibes, just straight up dream logic with no explanation, and that's exactly why it sticks with you. It feels like you're in someone else's subconscious, and in the end, you're not even sure what you just watched. Now look, The Amazing World of Gumball has never been shy about being strange. But sometimes the weirdness hits on a more emotional, unsettling level, and the weirdo is a prime example. This episode centers around Sussie. Yes, the same googly-eyed gremlin who always shows up to make things uncomfortable. In the episode, she's handing out strange gifts in the cafeteria. A frog, jar of mayonnaise, a live spider, regular Sussie stuff. And naturally, the other kids laugh at her behind her back. Gumball and Darwin try to step in and help her fit in, but every attempt Gumball and Darwin make, training her, giving them manicures, tweezing weird facial features, fails spectacularly, even when they try to give her a makeover. They go desperate, swapping her features, adding fake fashion, but Sussie grows confused and hurt, questioning why they're trying to change her. Turns out, fitting in is not in her DNA. Sussie doesn't want to be normal, and when they try to force her to fit in, she turns the tables by handing them both a pair of googly eyes and making them see the world the way she sees it. Suddenly, everything around them shifts. The animation style changes, the laws of physics kind of break, they're floating through Elmore like they're in a crayon-colored fever dream, and instead of freaking out, they start loving it. They're singing, dancing, soup and shoes, sock puppets, and an absurd amount of mayonnaise. It's chaotic, but it's joyful chaos. The kind that makes no logical sense, but still feels weirdly freeing. But where's the weird part? Well, if Sussie's tooth sauce in her pocket isn't enough, the episode becomes weird because it forces you to see the world differently. It's not just about humor, it's about empathy, perspective, and embracing what makes you different, even when the world tries to laugh at you for it. And the very moment Gumball and Darwin put on the googly eyes, the crayon animation kind of freaks me out. But hey, the message behind it is what matters. So yeah, the weirdo earns its spot on this list for making weird something to celebrate. Also, googly eyes are terrifying when you think about them too hard. But then comes The Tape, an episode that turns something as simple as a home video project into a full-blown breakdown of reality. It all starts when Gumball and Darwin decide they're going to make a sweet little family documentary. A cute idea, right? But this is Elmore, and nothing ever stays normal for long. What begins as an innocent project quickly turns into an absolute circus. First off, Darwin can't even get through his line without messing it up, and Gumball ends up pulling muscles trying to look cool on camera. Darwin finally perfects his script, only for the boys to realize that the camera is off. Instead of a normal documentary, what we get is a bizarre series of stitched-together mockumentary segments, starting with Gumball narrating it like it's a nature show. Richard becomes the Moobus gelatinous who lives on the couch and survives by farting his enemies away. Nicole's introduced like a wild apex predator returning from a grocery hunt. And Anais ransacks everything like a stealth scavenger. It's part sitcom, part Discovery Channel, and 100% chaos. Then there's Carrie, who literally breaks the fourth wall to deliver a 3D jump scare straight into your face, just because you can. Gumball and Darwin then spend the day following Ocho around. They film using the Konami code to cheat life itself, spawning cash blocks and even trying to ace his test and outrun classmates with literal video game hacks. Gumball tries to copy him, fails miserably, glitches out, and screams for Darwin to call an ambulance. And then Tobias rolls in with a painfully awkward how to be cool segment. He fails at lifting weights, throws money at girls, and drops a pickup line so cringe that he ends up calling his mom out of embarrassment. If secondhand embarrassment were a sport, Tobias would surely be the world champion. But it gets weirder. Gumball and Darwin start filming fake commercials. One for a pimple cream made of fridge mold and ham sweat, which grosses you out, and another for a terrifying baby doll called Baby Anais. That evolves into the Annihilator with karate chop action. There's a moment where Darwin gets so ridiculously cute that Gumball can't handle it and literally vomits rainbows. Actual rainbows. Finally, they make a mini-movie called Ninja George 2, where the good guy and bad guy are actually the same person. But it all ends in tears and a rewrite, only for Gumball to accidentally delete everything with one button press. It really makes me think, what would happen if someone at Marvel or DC accidentally deleted their entire upcoming movie with no backup? Like, what do you even say after that? Oops, guess the sequel's cancelled? Enjoy the trailers, I guess. The tape isn't just weird, it throws logic out the window, breaks every editing rule, and never stops explaining itself. It's as if America's Funniest Home Videos, Inception, and a Saturday morning cartoon all got blended into one. And somehow, it works. However, it doesn't even come close to The Money, which aired in 2015. Right from the start, you know this isn't going to be your typical family crisis story. The Wattersons are out eating at Joyful Burger when disaster strikes. Their credit card gets declined. The family quickly realizes they are completely broke, but instead of a normal explanation, Richard reveals he deposited their money in an offshore account, except what he actually did was dump it into the sea to convert it into gold. Yeah, you heard that right. Nicole, normally the voice of reason, instantly transforms into this massive, muscle-bound beast ready to unleash fury on Richard, but somehow his irresistible charm cools her down. That's the kind of love I want. As the family faces the harsh reality of poverty, Nicole sarcastically tells them to drink their tears because that's all the water they'll have. That's when Larry suggests they star in a commercial for Joyful Burger to make some quick cash. Gumball, however, stubbornly refuses to let them sell out, insisting that pride is more important than money, even if it means living in squalor. This sets off a weird chain of events where the family's world literally begins to fall apart. From repossession men taking their furniture to their house losing electricity, the episode turns into seriously weird territory. Gumball tries to cheer everyone up with a song about imagination, only to be shut down as the family's dire situation spirals further. Here's where it gets truly weird. As the Wattersons lose everything, their animation quality starts to degrade. Gumball loses his colors, Anais glitches like a broken cartoon character, and Darwin looks like a child's drawing. The entire world around them turns glitchy and storyboard-like, reflecting the show's shrinking budget within the episode's universe. Nicole finally throws in the towel, declaring that principles mean nothing if they don't have money. The family rushes to sign the Joyful Burger contract, but not before they are literally reduced to sticky notes on the way there. Talk about breaking the fourth wall. When they sign, everything returns to as it was, except for Gumball, who resists until Larry tempts him with a ridiculous paycheck. I'm really surprised he held up for that long. The Money is hands down one of the weirdest episodes of the Amazing World of Gumball. It's not just about the plot, it's about how the episode messes with the very fabric of the show itself. As the Wattersons go broke, the animation literally starts glitching, the colors fade out, the sound cuts off, and even the characters start losing their shapes. It's a full-on visual and storytelling breakdown that makes you feel their financial crisis. Only Gumball can make financial ruin this funny and this surreal. And that's it for the weirdest episodes of Gumball. This show seriously has no chill, and that's why we love it. If you've stayed till the end, like this video, subscribe to our channel, and click the bell icon so you never miss on any of our future updates.